it's Tamika. I am here to do a quick card. I had posted on Instagram a Mother's Day card that I sent for my mother who does not live in the state with me, and a couple people had asked for a quick tutorial. I do have card tutorials on my channel. If I find them all, I will link them in the description box. You guys can check them out, but I will do this one because I have to make one for my mother-in-law, so I'm going to do that on camera. And I'm using this Prima Tea Time paper. This is a digital paper that I printed off using Snap Click Supply. So I purchased the paper and then I can just print it off as many times as I want it. Obviously I've printed it several times for several different projects. So I am going to use that today, and I think I'm going to pick these three colors for my card base. And my card base is that Michael's corrugated board that we got the envelopes from. So I've already cut it down to I cut it down to 5, and then I thought I'd do the tutorial, so I'm going to cut it down to the other side. I think it comes 5.5 by 5.5, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I'm just going to cut it down so that the card is 5 by 5. I figured I'd do this with you guys and have a little chit chat. And then for those of you who wanted the tutorial, hopefully this will inspire you to create one on your own. Now I'm just going to clean up these edges because the trimmer doesn't go all the way through the paper, but it at least gives me a mark of where I need to cut it at. So, because this is some thick board. So, but I have my little markings and we're good to go. So that's cut down to 5 by 5. And then I'm going to cut down this paper. So I want to have a couple of layers here. So I'm going to cut it down. I want this to be right on the card, or maybe a little bit shy. I'm going to do a 1/8 of an inch smaller than 5. Because the card is 5 by 5, so I'm going to do an 1/8 of an inch smaller. So that'll go just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing because I want to put pattern paper on the back. So that's for the front. The back is just going to get 1. And then I'm going to layer it with this one here. So I'm going to make this, let me see what 4 3/4 look like. You know, I really just don't have any measurements. Any ideas when I make some of these cards, I just kind of do it. Yeah, I'm going to cut this a smidge smaller. I'm going to cut an 1/8 of an inch smaller than what I just cut it. So that's 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. And put that there. That's cute. I like that green in the background. And then I'm going to put a sentiment on here. So I'm going to use a strip of this. I'm going to cut it down to 1.5 inches. Just use a little strip. And then I'm going to cut it to 5. I'll just go from there as far as how far down I want it to go. Actually, I'm going to cut it the length of this one. Yeah. So I'm just going to measure that out. I don't have to cut it. I'm going to cut it to the length of that top layer. Cut this down a little bit. And then we want to do the insides. Let's see how much paper I have here on here. Not too bad. That actually works great. So this was 4 3/4. Cut that down to 4 3/4. Try to save all the little scraps. Don't have to cut into another little piece here. And then I'm going to cut this down 4 3/4 as well. You guys are getting this raw video footage, right? I'm going to This isn't lined up where I want it to be. 4 3/4. Yep, in there. And then 4 3/4 this way. So I think that's it for paper. I'm going to save these bigger morsels and these little tiny ones. I'm going to do save that. Okay. And then this is the back, right? What do we say for the back? Yeah, this is the back. So I'm going to see how this looks on here. So I am just going to cut this down. All I put was created by Tamika on here. Inside of the words where you can just see it. So, and then I'm going to, of course, I'm going to rough this up a little bit. I have a hand stamp, but it says Scrapdaworld, so I don't want to put that on there. It's a little bit more impersonal. Alright, so the rest of these can go. That's going to go on the back. And I'm going to go ahead and add the chipboard that I'm going to add to it right now. At the back of there. Add some hot glue to the back. This will serve as my little label. Put that on here like so. There we go. Okay. So for this, let's do the insides first of the card, and I'll probably put a little my message in here will be on some white cardstock, just because I want this to be covered in some pretty pattern paper, but the paper that I chose has writing already on it, so it'll be hard to write a whole message on that. So I'm just adding double-sided tape, and I'm going to just layer that there. This card is going to come together really quickly, guys, and then you'll be able to do the exact same thing. A little bit of embellishments, a little bit of flowers, distress it, and you're good to go. And she'll like it. She keeps my cards in her living room as home decor. So I started to, when I was looking at the cards, I'm like, oh gosh, they're made out of so many different pattern papers, and I said, maybe I should just make you the cards out of the same thing so that it'll match, instead of having, you know, this kind of paper, but she said no, leave it like it is. So I made her many cards over the years for all occasions. So that's the inside. And then the back, I'm going to use hot glue, but I want to rough it up. I'm going to start it with just my nail, and then the way that I do it is I apply the hot glue a little bit from the edge so that I'm able to still rough it up a little bit more. So, but I do want to give it a head start. So I put my hot glue like a 1/4 inch from the edge all the way around. And I use hot glue on this pattern paper on the back because it provides an extra sturdiness to the card, And then I find that using double-sided tape doesn't get in these grooves as much as I like them to. So hot glue works for me. I'm pretty fast at getting it there before it dries, and it is my favorite adhesive. So, but by putting the hot glue 1/4 inch, it adheres to that base really well, and then you're able to just take like your nail or some scissors and just kind of rough it up if that's what you like to do. And then it shows a little bit of the back of the card, of the base. So that's the back, and I love the tattered look of it. Alright, and that's the front. So we're going to do the same thing here. I'm actually going to cut it down just a hair, a sliver. It's almost like 1/8 of an inch down that way, and then do the same thing for the side. Alright, and then I'm going to add the hot glue. Oops, forgot to start it. It's hard to, or for me, I don't have any nails, I like to pick it up a little bit before I add the glue, because it gets down on that paper. It is hard to get up. So I'm just going to cup up the edges a little bit. And then I'm going to add the glue. And like I said, I just do the inside 1/4 inch from that edge or so. That's going to be that way. Alright. Make sure you get all of that in there so that when it melts non-lumpy, nice and smooth. Then, not melts, but when it starts to dry and adhere, it does it in a smooth fashion. So it's not lumpy. And I'm using a high temp hot glue gun, so I have a little bit of time to work it. I'm just taking my scissors and roughing up this edge a little bit here. Okay. And then I'm going to take a little bit of lace, and I'm just using some lace from my stash from somewhere, and I'm going to cut off just the parts that I want here. And I'll put lace on the left and the right of it. So we put it right here. Alright, I have enough. Okay, so I'm going to add, it has like a little iridescent shimmer to it, very pretty. So I'm going to add a little bit of tape down the side here on the left and the right. Make sure that's on real good. And I'm going to take off the backing. I want to make sure I'm in the right direction here. Okay. And then I'm going to apply this lace. Cut off the extra. And flip it to the opposite side and do the same thing. Making sure I'm hitting those points with the tape and the lace. Cut off that. Oh, let me tidy up the top here. Alright. That's what we have so far. Really cute. And then this layer is going to go right on top. Before I add that, I'm going to, I have some foam here, a foam sheet, and I don't want to add any more bulk to it than I have already. Otherwise I would have used some lightweight chipboard, but I have the corrugated board, the glue, the flour. It'll just be a super heavy card. So I'm just going to add this foam. I get this craft foam sheet from Michael's or Joann's. They both have them, and they're 99 cents. $79 or $99 depending on which store you go to. So just add my double-sided tape to the back, and I'm just going to layer it on top of the foam and cut around it. Make sure it's nice and even. It's really easy to cut. I mean, you can see that I can just push my scissors through and not even have to cut. I like using these craft foam sheets for dimension. Alright, so this card is going to go, this top is going to go that way. I'm going to cut this down. I forgot that I cut down that green one, so I'm going to cut this one down as well. Just like a almost a 1/4 inch, a little bit bigger than an 1/8. Good, that's going to go like that. Alright, and then this, cut this down. So I go across like that, but first I'm going to add a little bit of dimension to it. See, this is why I didn't want to do the chipboard, because it'll be super heavy. So we do the foam tape, the foam sheet, and do the same thing for this. And then we cut it down. And then that's going to go here. Actually, I'm going to cut it down a little bit more because I don't like those words on here. And then I'm going to rough up this edge a bit. To give it some texture. Just going to go there, and I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Just taking the back of my scissors and roughing it up. Really easy. Boom. That's going to be right there. Boom. And then I'm going to, let's see, I have a couple of options here as far as what I want to add. And I thought I had gotten these from, I think these are from Hobby Lobby. This little pick. I've been making corsages for my son, and I have a lot of these flowers left over, picks left over. So I thought this would be kind of cute to keep or to have on hand to add extras to my cards. I don't know if I like that. And then I have some flowers. I have a tutorial on these flowers that I made. I've got a couple of little doodads that I want to try to add to my card. Some flowers, some pearls, some leaves. So we'll see where it goes. I do just pack all this stuff up here, and then that way it's in my face and I can see. I pull it and then I pack it up and see. Alright, so I'm going to, if you guys can see, let's make a space. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this foam down. This is that top sheet. And I'm just going to use some hot glue on here and lay it down. And then, before I lose this, I'm going to add my little signature to the back. Some hot glue. Right there. Okay, so this is the front. And this is going to go here. I might as well just go ahead and lay this down. Some hot glue there. Okay. So, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to have to add some I'm going to add some flowers. Let's see where we go. I know that I want to use these. Oh, before I do that, I want to add one of these wine charms, but the colors that I have on here are not cute. Or they're cute, but they don't match. So I'm going to see if it's possible that I can take off this little charm here. If I can dig my scissors underneath. Just find a space to open it. And see if I can pop that off. Ugh, I can. And we can save this for another day. I'm going to grab my doodads. And then I'm going to put another charm in here that matches it a little bit better. That's kind of huge. Let's see. All of these little doodads came from Audrey, who is so good all. She sends the most awesome doodad bags in the swaps. So I collected them. I think that one's cute. This one is pretty. This one's tiny though. Oh, that's so dainty. Yeah, we'll use this one. And then I'll put some hot glue on the back. And then just put that on there. Yeah, that's really cute. I got these wine charms a while ago from Joann's, I believe. Alright. Let's put that back on. Okay. So this is going to fit, or my idea of it is to fit like right here, and then put the sentiment on there. Fit like that, so that I can just hang like so. But I'm going to cut it down a little bit. Ooh, that flew, and then I'll close it up. Alright, so that's going to go there. And then the sentiment, I have these Prima Tales of You and Me words, and I'm just going to find one that looks good. This beauty looks nice. Let's do that one. That's from the, I just dropped it. That's from the 12 by 12. Yeah, that's cute. That's from the 12 by 12 stack. And then I need to put this on some foam, a little bit of foam. Just going to cut a little piece. Alright, and then I'm going to put it on here because it's sticky back, but you know, it's not going to last long unless you put something at the bottom. So that's going to go here. But that means I'm going to have to cut this down a little bit more because you'll be able to see it, because I'm going to hide it underneath. I'm going to hide this charm underneath that sentiment. So I'm going to be able to not show it. But I want that to kind of dangle, so that's why I need the little hoop there. Alright. That's going to go there. I'll close that up a bit. It's going to go there. That's going to go there. This is how I lay my cards out. This is the thought process. Slow and steady. Okay, so I could use these flowers here. That's cute. I also have some more of those foam flowers that I may need. Let's see here. Just pick out a couple of those. Yeah, I'm going to need these leaves. Let's see, there's a flower. Let's see what we have here. Oh, that's cute. That can go there. A little green flower here. I don't want to bombard it too much. Let's see. And I have enough peach. These are hip these are hip rosebuds from Wild Orchid Crafts. I really like these. I'll put those up there. Okay. I have some of these flowers. These are cherry blossoms. Again, from Wild Orchid Crafts. I'll use a couple of those. Yeah, I have to lay it out first, otherwise, if I start to gluing, it might not turn out quite like how I like it. Let's see. I think I'm going to lay this on top of there. That goes there. That's going to go there. And I want to use this green flower because it's cute and it blends in quite nicely. And I'm going to use it. Let me see here. Take another piece of that scrap paper that I had. And make a little banner. Fishtail banner. Give it some dimension over here. And that's just a scrap. This is just the scrap that I just pulled out of my wastebasket from the base of the card. Bringing in some of that green. Plus it's going to be able to hide this tag a little bit better. Yeah, I'm going to add that. This time I'm just going to add glue to the back of this directly. And then just kind of give it some dimension by myself. Wrinkling it up a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Now I can add this charm. By doing that, I'm just going to add a hot glue directly onto the middle here. And then I'm going to place this down on it. Alright. So that this can dangle. Cute. And then this little beauty is going to go right there. Of course, I have to just scratch the edges a bit. And I'm going to add hot glue to the back. And then lay it right on top of that tag. And let it adhere. Perfect. Alright, I'm going to attach these leaves together. These two here. I think it'll be cute if I layer them. Take out the extra. I'll layer them here. Wait, we'll see. That's not permanent. But we will see. I know that these stems are going to go here. For sure. I like that. Yeah, we'll keep it. Only with this, I am going to cut it down a little bit shorter. And then I'm going to add some hot glue to the back. And that's going to tuck kind of underneath that little layer of a little banner here. tuck underneath there because there was a leaf already on the paper. And then these two beauties are going to go here. Cut off the extra tail down here. It's going to go there. Just going to add a little bit of glue right there. And let that sit. After a few seconds, that glue cools down where it's manageable. I don't think I have any thumbprints anymore from touching so much hot glue, so or any fingerprints. So I'm going to put this one on a dimension so it can be a little bit higher. I have a pop dot, hot glue, pop dot. No, that's too big. Alright, let's take this off. Add some glue to that. Put that right there. And I'm going to do the same for this one. Oh, that already has one on. That's right. I just said I did a tutorial on that. It already has one on there. Alright, add glue. And then that's going to go at an angle right there. Okay. It's going to go here. This flower. Back that up there. Add some glue to here, to the bottom. Let's see if I can push this down underneath there a little bit. One row. So let me get one row out of there. There we go. And then the cherry blossoms. Let's see, that's too much. It's too much white on here. Back to back to back. Let's see about this flower. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. So I'm going to add it right there. Oh wait. Let's see. Yeah. Add a little glue there. And this is another faux flower that I had. Let that sit for a second. Really cute. And then I'm going to add some pearls on here. I'm going to add some of these size. Or should I add some little ones too? I'm going to add some big ones in here. Yeah. Okay. And one more in here. And then some smaller ones around it. Gotta pick this up a little bit there. Cute. So the only thing that I'm going to add now are some shimmer. So I have my little bottle of homemade shimmer here, and I'm going to spray that on here and dry it, and I will be back. There's that. Super cute. I am going to add my finishing touch of stickles. These are icicle stickles, and all I'm going to do is add them to the edges. That was a mistake that I did not want to happen. Alright, I'm just going to add them to the edges here just to bring a little bit of sparkle and shimmer, and all I'm doing literally is just touching on some of the peaks of the flowers, just to add like the glistening touch when you get the card and look at it. Really easy, just like little bitty peaks here and there. Okay, so I am going to let that dry, and then it will be ready to go. It's so cute. And then there's the inside. Where to go here? And the back. Quick and easy. Alright guys, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching. Bye.